what you've seen maybe from your own personal journey or discussions you've had with clients over the years.
Well, let me start out with an anecdote, I suppose. Remember when I was younger, living in New York, and I would consider myself a reasonably well-paid person at the time, and I knew some really, really high income folks, right? And it amazed me how, no matter how much income the people I knew made, they still lived paycheck to paycheck. And so I just thought that was amazing, that, you might start off living on, on a sofa bed, when you arrive in New York first, just after college, in your friend's house, and that might be out in Long Island, right? And then you get your first job, and maybe it's all wrapped up in a business, and
Right.
so then they have to go scrambling for loans, and sometimes they can't get those loans, and so they come to lenders and they say, "Listen, I've got a $300 tax bill, and I've got some equity in a commercial building, I've got some equity in some real estate I own. So just because you have $1 million of quote unquote profit from your business does not mean that you have $1 million in your bank account." Again, can create anxiety, right? So, when you hear of people earning a lot of money, you probably don't know what is really going on in terms of their financial anxiety. But as we look as real estate investors in our world over the decades, I do know a lot of folks who seem quite happy with themselves. They seem to have...
I know what I know, right? So now my financial anxiety personally is the minute that I have more than 20 or 30 grand sitting in an account, my anxiety is that it's still sitting in that account the next day and the next day, because I know that it needs to be put on the street in some sort of compounding fashion, whether it's buying a piece of machinery if you own a business, whether it's buying training to be able to go out on your own, whether it's buying another piece of real estate kind of in our business, right? My anxiety, David, lies with having money sitting in the bank account, which is the antithesis of the rainy day fund, right? So it's like, I want my rainy day fund to be so small because I know that money is not working for me, because I've seen what happens when my money does work for me over the last 10 or 15 years. And I'm like, oh my God, I cannot have it sitting there, right? And it does two things, right? It compounds for me in whatever investment I put it in. Now, the risk, right? The investment maker.